This episode has been brought to you from the DGMS Studios, home of Don't Get Me Started, Lethal and Mully Live and Surftown. Found at Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music and wherever you listen to your podcast. Welcome to Keith and Lee's Don't Get Me Started. Hi, I'm Lee.
And I'm Keith.
Well, Keith, we're back in the studio today. We've had our little forte out of the studio in the 2 units we were working at before. And I might say it's nice to be back.
Yes, it is. I walked in this morning and I just thought, man, this is like a comfortable lounge that one could just sink into and just feel at one.
Yeah, I enjoyed where we were participated in our work, if we can call it that, and the view. But coming back in here this morning, setting everything up, looking around, thinking, you can't beat home, mate.
You cannot. And also, Lee, it's quite significant. Is this our 91st or 92nd
Keep
podcast?
going.
93rd.
Keep going.
94th.
It's our 94th.
94th. So we're almost at 100. But you know what is most significant about this?
Tell me.
We've never been cancelled. Well, mind you, that there's no reason why we should be cancelled because no animals have been hurt.
Oh, yeah.
No trees have been felled. No whales killed.
Yep.
No genders insulted and no dwarfs thrown.
No genders offended.
Offended. None. And no dwarfs thrown. So, you know, we're pretty safe. What are you laughing at?
Well, I was just thinking of the Wolf of Wall Street when you said that.
Well, it used to be a big thing. Peter the Great, who really wasn't great, he did some pretty amazing things to modernise his city and tried to modernise his country. But he was a sick puppy.
Yeah.
He used to have this building that was full of freaks so that they go over there and play. And he used to get raging drunk with all his court. One of the favourite things they used to do in this building, I think they called it the circus, was throw dwarfs, literally. So, you know, this guy's called Peter the Great, like Peter the Twisted.
Have you seen Wolf of Wall Street?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, well, they did that. They did it on a target, which was just outrageous, but the whole movie was outrageous. But anyway, Keith, how are you, mate? You're looking very colourful today. I love your shirt.
Well, I like the shirt.
I like the shirt.
It's very summery and very, very comfortable. It has that fabric that just feels nice against your skin.
I feel like saying aloha.
As you should. The world needs more aloha. And, of course, it's vibrant with all the graphics from Mambo. And I love all the Mambo shirts. They're outrageous. And there's one where a kangaroo is getting drunk under a beer tree. And I'm trying to get hold of it. It's $300 second hand.
Dare I say that pink suits you, Keith?
That's not pink, you bloody ratbag. Jeez. Look, keep this up. I'm going to look for another podcast partner.
All right. Now,
But before you go, I have a couple of jokes.
Oh, I was waiting for that.
Are you ready for this?
I am. My favourite time of the week.
Well, they're only small, but you do have to think a little bit. This guy was farting a lot. It would become a real problem. So he went to see the doctor and, have you got anything for wind? And the doctor gave him a kite. And I can say this because I'm dyslexic, right? A dyslexic guy walked into a bra. Half his luck.
Yeah.
All right, the last one. A rabbi, a priest, and an imam walked into a bar. And the barman looked at him and said, "Oh, is this a joke?"
Where do you get these from, Mully? Send me the link.
Oh, well, you know, some from memory, some I dig around. And there's some very obscure comedians. A couple of them have passed away. One's called Foster Brooks from America and another guy called Tommy Cooper from England. They're old guys. They're all passed away, but a lot of their work is still on the internet. And one of the things that's good about it is that they say jokes that are not putting people down, which a lot of American jokes do. So a lot of it's situational. You know, some of it's to do with different ethnicities, and, you know, I steer away from that. So I just mix it up to say a girl or a guy or whatever, right? And you can use your own imagination because sometimes you can hurt people, even though it's back in the day it was quite open to use those sort of ideas for jokes. We live in an age, like I said, mate, we haven't been counselled because we've been considerate. No animals hurt, no trees felled, no whales killed, no genders offended, no dwarfs thrown. What else haven't we done? See, we were almost New Age sensitive males. Almost.
I love to know genders offended. It's so prevalent today, isn't it? Got to be careful.
Well, I was wondering if there were genders left anymore.
When I look at the analytics of Don't Get Me Started, they give you a full array of who's listening, the age, female, male, and then they've gone non-descriptive.
Oh.
And there's a small little amount that we've got non-descriptive.
Really?
Listeners.
See, that's because we don't offend people.
I think so.
Hang on, the nondescript gender people are listening.
Now, the other people that are listening that we were talking about yesterday was Brisbane. Hello, Brisbane. You are the top download city of Australia to Don't Get Me Started, but not only Don't Get Me Started, but also Surftown. So Keith and I were talking about it, and we said, we must do something to celebrate the fact of Brisbane. And, of course, with Keith's beloved AFL, the Brisbane Lions, and Brisbane itself, the Broncos, we decided that we're going to come down to Brisbane and do a live recording down in Queen's Mall. We'll give you some more details later. But thank you, Brisbane. You're a star.
Brisbane is a star because it used to be, for our international listeners, we're talking about the capital city of our state of Queensland here in Australia. And the city, Brisbane, did have a reputation in the past of being just one big country town, which was a bit of a put down. But man, it's on the move. It's really growing up and becoming an international city, quite cosmopolitan, and has a nickname now, Bris Vegas, which I think is pretty worthy of it, actually. And now it's got the Olympics coming in 2032, and they're investing in a lot of infrastructure. So the city is just going to boom.
When I first came, I think I looked at Brisbane, it's only like 1.5 million people, and it was classed as a big country town then. I don't know how many there now, probably over 3 million. I don't know, I'm guessing.
Oh, I don't know if it's that high. Why don't you ask the magic iPhone in your hand?
Well, actually, I've got a remote control for the aircon in my hand at the moment. I haven't got my iPhone. We're coming, Brisbane.
Yes, we are.
Watch out.
Yeah, we'll have gifts in hands too.
What, the pens that we can't get rid of and
the stickers?
The stickers that are piling up. And a big thank you from us. So we'll be there. Now, what else been happening to you this week, Keith?
I've just been chilling, just catching up with friends and family. I was hoping to go for a surf, but the waves have been flat. Anyway, I'm going out there again today to have a look. I think it's still small, but I have to get in the ocean. I haven't had some salt all over me for a while, so that's about it. Picked up another book, which I don't need.
You don't need. Mate, I don't know how you're allowed to get any more books into your apartment.
Well, I've got a little sneaky program going so the missus doesn't know that another one's come in.
You're going to have to move to bigger premises, Keith.
Oh, tell me about it. So that's about it.
Excellent. Well, I've just got a couple of things I just want to mention. David Beckham got knighted.
I saw that.
Victoria, you're going to have to call me sir now.
You don't call a knighted wife sir. You call her lady. God, and I'm an Aussie, and even I know that.
She'd have to call him Sir David.
Oh, you mean, Sir David, can you please pass the salt? I have a joke about that, passing the salt. Do you remember, what was his name? Kaskovich, the Russian chess master?
Yep.
Well, this guy went out for dinner with him one day, and they went into this restaurant, and the tablecloth was checkered, and it took Kaskanov, whatever his name was, half an hour to pass the salt.
Very good, Mully, very good. And also, I just want to mention, so this month, Mully, is your birthday, and I won't embarrass you with how old you are, because you look a sprightly 60-year-old.
Not bad for 83.
Not bad at all. But your birthday has a unique set of properties.
Go on.
And it has its own term. It's called the Sheldon Prime. And that refers to a number that satisfies two specific properties. So with your number, which is blah, 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 it's the only known example.
Of what?
Of a prime number that you can reverse it, and it comes to 21 prime. If I say the number, then people will understand. When you turn that number, it's a really special number.
So it's going to be a magical year for me.
It's a unique number. It's the only number that is called the Sheldon Prime number.
Well, I'm glad you haven't told our listeners the exact number, because those that are sharp will now go on the search to try and find out what it is.
They'll find it straight away.
Yeah, let them do so. More power to them.
Excellent. Well, we've been twatting on enough, Keith. No, sorry, wrong term. We've been talking enough. Now, you've come up with a great topic
Yes, I've been thinking about that because, we like to try and be serious and tackle some of the issues of life and the topical things that we all worry about and are concerned in our everyday life. And the topic is, are we or are you your own worst enemy? And it's something I've been thinking about a lot because a lady said that to me one time in Hong Kong when I was living there. And she said, wouldn't it be terrible to get to the end of your life and realize that you defeated yourself, that you were your own worst enemy? And I'd never really considered it. And she told me that years and years ago. Recently, I've been thinking about it for various reasons. And I thought, well, that'd be a great topic for Lee and I to discuss on Don't Get Me Started. So here we are.
Yeah, well, when you said that, I thought, right, I've got to look into this. And
did you do your research?
Yeah, I did. And your own worst enemy. I love the terminology of it. And it could be the person's own thoughts, actions, or behaviours are the main cause of their problems and failures. This can be due to self-defeating habits like procrastination, negative self-talk, or a fear of failure, which lead to self-sabotage and unhappiness. Now, I can relate to quite a few of those, especially the negative self-talk. My wife attacks me every time. When I do something, I go, oh, look, you dickhead, Lee. She goes, don't say that. Or I go, oh, like, if my head wasn't screwed on, I would bloody lose that too. And, oh, you bloody dingbat. Constantly.
Yeah, but I don't think that is really that serious. That remonstrating against yourself is because you're frustrated with something that you've done. You might be reaching to get a tub of yogurt out of the fridge, for example, and you drop it and it splatters all over the floor and you say, oh, you stupid idiot, to yourself, We all do that.
Yeah.
But what I think you might be referring to is that you don't think highly enough of yourself when you come to significant points in your life where you have to make a decision which way you're going to go or what you should do. And sometimes you think, oh, I'm not worthy of that, or I can't do that. That's beyond what I'm able to achieve. And so we stop ourselves. I believe that a lot of people who've suffered trauma through their family will often replicate it again in the next generation. And rather than stepping out of that pattern that repeats itself to make things better for themselves, they'll actually hang on to the abuse that they've had before, sort of own it in a sense, and then pass it on to the next lot. It's almost like they're feeling that they're not worthy because they've been such a victim that they're not worthy to be able to say, I can go up to a higher plane, if you like, or onto a better existence, a better way of life.
Well, it's being aware of that, knowing that and understanding that. It's like I was saying with the negative self-talk, constantly putting yourself down or believing you're not worthy of success, to break that habit. And I do it a lot. We did a podcast before about the drivers in Noosa and how shocking they are. Not everyone, but a vast majority are. And now I'm not reacting to that. What's the point? There's no reason to do that. Instead of being negative immediately of getting in the car that you're going to come across a terrible drive.
There was another term that you rolled out there in your description, self-sabotage. And I know somebody who has offered quite a significant amount of money due to a very genuine and loyal friendship. And when the ladies in that friendship passed away, she was quite wealthy. She left quite a significant amount of money to her friend, and her friend wouldn't take it. And she really needed it. She wasn't wealthy herself. It would have been a tremendous benefit to her. She didn't take it because she thought it would be more noble to be more humble for me to not take that other person's money. And I think there's a false humility in there where you're thinking that you're not worthy to take it.
Or is it pride? Or is it fear of the family or whoever's been left that money that's not to the family, to a friend, of being retribution against her for accepting it?
Well, it could be, but certainly that could come into a similar situation. But in this circumstance, I don't think it did, from my understanding.
Self-sabotage. Yeah. It's an interesting concept.
Well, I think we do it a lot. And I've read about doctors and psychologists who say some of their patients care more about their pets than themselves. And they come in for help, and the psychologist or the doctor says, well, you have to do this, this, and this. And they often don't follow the advice. But they will go out and help their animals or other people rather than themselves.
Well, it's like advice. So is it, my next one here is procrastination. Is it delaying or avoiding tasks, which prevents progress towards goals or success? Well, what are we building to? What are we doing this for? That's the other thing. You've got to have that in the forefront of your mind that you're heading towards, because there'll be roadblocks in the way, like negative self-talk, procrastination. There's fear. as well, which I want to talk about later. There's all these things that are there that screaming at you. Well, they scream at me, that's for sure, because my mind is so switched on. But as I'm getting older, I'm slowly turning down the volume, and it's really nice.
Oh, that's good, Lee. So you think you're finally maturing?
You I think that's about the 10th time you said this. I'm never going to mature, mate.
Well,
I'm a kid at heart.
Yes,
I
yes.
love to play up. And I don't mean play up in a nasty way, but to get other people playing up. I rang an old mate I haven't spoken to for a long while because he used to host all the Grand National. There you go. How's that, Keith?
That's in English.
It's like a Melbourne Cup.
Yeah. Does it still happen?
It does still happen. So I rang him because he used to do put on great parties, great food, great conversation. And so I rang him and I said, mate, are you going to be doing the Melbourne Cup today? And do you feel a winner?
What did he say?
He goes, no, we're not doing it.
Why not?
Exactly. That's what I said. And he goes, unfortunately, his wife's mother's not well. And so she has to look after her and it's not good news. And of course, my friend has fear of death. So he doesn't want to talk about that either. This is the thing which is fear. My next one is they fear stuff all the time. And I tried to ring him yesterday to put a little bit of life into him, for me to play up with him because he's a nice guy, but he needs a rocket up his ass to get him up and at it. And then he experiences life because he's content in his procrastination. They're content with it, or they're content with their self-negative talk, or they're content with self-sabotage. Do they know the difference?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, and it's pretty sad, really, isn't it? See, one of the things about what you're saying is where are you going? What are you aiming at? And a lot of people, it's wealth and power and material success.
And it's so boring.
Yeah, it is. One of the things I think we should aim at is achievement that satisfies. And that could be anything. You know, like we've achieved a wonderful podcast enterprise that we've got here. We've got a fantastic studio. It's got all modern equipment, and you as the podmaster have got all your little black magic boxes and gadgets. And we're heard all over the world. It's terribly gratifying. It's wonderfully successful. And we haven't made a single dollar out of it.
But was it ever about that? That's the thing. When we first started 18 months ago, were we thinking about that? We weren't. We were just thinking about, oh, look, have we got anything to say? Do we want to?
Have we?
Have we ever had anything good to say?
No, that's questionable, isn't it?
But yes, I know what you're saying, Keith. We haven't made a red cent, but it's it's not about that. Actually, we did, but I didn't follow through with the invoice. So.
Oh, no, and the invoice was for $80.
$84, I think.
84.
Yeah.
Well, see, we could have said, no, let's not do it because we're not qualified broadcasters. We're not experts in pulling apart people's psychologies. No, it's going to be too much work. No, it's going to be too much time. It's going to make us commit to a regularity in our program every week. We could have easily have just wiped this whole project out, but we've put in countless hours. We put in a lot of effort putting it all together. I know you as the podmaster, as the techo guy, you've been through hours of frustration, working out which end of the cable goes into which gadget. I'm full of respect. I have no idea how you did it. I would have blown up not only the town's electricity supply, I would have blown up the internet if I had to do it.
Oh, you could have done it.
We persevered and we've achieved something that's incredibly gratifying.
For us, which I love, and we were talking about it before.
And for our listeners in Brisbane.
And Brisbane.
Love Brisbane. We're coming.
We'll see you soon, fellas. But getting back to fear. So, allowing fear to hold you back from taking necessary actions. If you don't know that you're held back, your negative self-talk or your procrastination, fear will grab hold of you, which it does on a regular basis anyway. Unbeknown, for whatever, we don't feel that, when I think about it, that's pretty scary. The choices that we want to make or the next step forward, we think it's going to work and it doesn't work. And then we go back to the negative self-talk, and then we're not going to do it again. So it's procrastination. Does that come through all the time with our actions? And it's just a fear of failure.
Yes.
It's just a fear of failure.
Yes.
Now, the other thing is...
Excuse me, just before you go on, that failure thing is really, really big. That fear of failure is massive. There's a saying, and I know it's quite glib. We all roll out sayings these days, but somebody has said there's no such thing as failure, there's only lessons. And I mean, that's easy to say because often we are afraid to fail because it could be embarrassing, could cost us money, could cost us a lot of time.
Oh, it costs us relationships.
So sometimes it's probably genuine sometimes not to do some things. But generally speaking, fear is a massive barrier that holds us back.
Yeah, it holds you back from taking necessary actions, which I agree with. And the only thing to fear is fear itself.
So it has been said. Well, geez, we're rolling them out today, aren't we?
Oh, mate, cliches, you and I. The other one I've got down here is unrealistic expectations, which is a good one.
Yes, it is. I was going to touch on that because we have said sometimes we don't think highly enough of ourselves. Other times we can think too highly of ourselves, think that we're more worthy of something or what should come to us than who we really are.
Setting goals that are so high, they're almost impossible to achieve and ultimately lead into disappointment.
Yes.
Now, who hasn't done that?
Me.
It's like I read an old saying from somewhere, like you've got to eat a bad apple to know what a good apple tastes like. So you've got to live life to know life. And the same as everything else, your expectations, you have to keep going. Now, if I'd have stopped on my first one where I wanted to be this or wanted to be that, there were a couple of things when I was 14, 15 or 15, 16 that I could have gone into these different areas. And I didn't. Now, I could have really. What would have happened if I had done? It doesn't matter because I didn't. Are they unrealistic expectations that I was thinking of being these two things? I don't know.
What's your gut feeling when you think back on that?
I think one of them, I probably would have had a really short career. But the other one, I think I would still be doing it now.
Does that cause you trouble at night? Sleeping?
No, but it was unrealistic for my parents to acknowledge what I was saying. So that was their thought of it. And I took it because I can't go forward on that because I have no income. Mm-hmm. So I needed them to back me I could go into the one or the other. And it just didn't work. But unrealistic expectations, setting goals that are so high they're almost impossible to achieve, lead into disappointment. Was I disappointed? Yeah, I was disappointed in the long term of that. The other one is comparing yourself to others.
Oh, mate, that is such a trap.
But it's a norm.
Yes, I know it's a norm. And that's why I'm saying it's such a trap because it's bloody everywhere. We've got this wretched thing in Australia now called mental health. And when I say wretched, because years ago, I'm sure genuine mental health did exist. But now it seems to be prevalent and people are talking about it. You turn left or right, you run into it and the concern. And I'm sure a lot of mental health is because people compare themselves to other people.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
Or they simply think that they should focus on what they don't have. Others have got it. I don't have it. Oh, I've never achieved it. There's something wrong with me. And I think that's really, really bad thinking.
It is. It's allowing others' achievements to make you feel inadequate.
Yeah, and why would you do that to yourself?
The haves and the have-not.
Why would you do that to yourself?
I feel that I've been not struggling most of my life, but I feel like I've always been pushing something uphill to try and get there. And when I look to my left or right and I see people that aren't pushing anything, they're driving or flying, I'm thinking, well, what's happening here? Why is this happening?
Or you look... Yeah, I know where you're going with this. So you've got to be careful, Lee. You really do. Because we all do it. We can say, here's my situation and look at his. We both took off at the same starting point and he's got this and he's got that or she's this or she's that and I'm here or it's bloody toxic, mate, I tell you.
I feel I've maybe skipped a beat or I'm not as fast as I used to be or I've allowed myself to procrastinate where I shouldn't. And the only fault it can be would be mine. But where I am, what I have, the family and my grandchildren, I'm the richest man in the world. Don't get me wrong.
Good.
But I can't, you know me, Mully. I love to see the new stuff, the stuff coming on the market, especially in the media and tech world. It's incredible. And they're making zillions. But I love the product. We're looking at Rode here and we've got the Road Cart. Incredible piece of machinery. I think it's incredible. And whoever done it, well done. And I've heard this online and also through other people. They love Rode. And Rode's an Australian company, which makes it even better. My last one here with examples of behaviour is self-sabotage.
Yeah, well, we've already touched on that. You know, I think that really goes to the heart of what we started with here. Are you your own worst enemy? Are you going to get to the end of your life and look back and realise that you defeated yourself? And it's a terrible thing.
Self-sabotage. When you said it, I thought, yep, that's the go.
No, I think we do it for sometimes too, Lee. I think we can be limited by what we see within ourselves that we've inherited from our family, if you like, or a little bit of understanding of what we have already achieved or what we haven't achieved, rather than we look around to the obvious that comes or that we have within ourselves or that has come upon us or where we are, where we live or whatever, rather than looking at the opportunities or thinking, okay, I don't have to go down this way because I can turn around and go another way and make it happen.
Engaging in behaviours that are counterproductive, such as refusing to commit to a plan or withdrawing from a success. That's a shocker.
Yeah, it might be time to revise that old Australian saying, have a go, you mug.
Have a go.
Have a go.
Should be all right, mate. Have a go.
Have a go. It doesn't matter if you fall flat on your face. Have a go.
There's another way, and I'll just quickly go through them because, again, we're running out of time. How to stop being your own worst enemy, which is a good point to make here. So I'll quickly go through them and you pick out the one you like.
You have tips?
I do. Recognise and challenge negative thoughts. Set realistic goals. Avoid perfectionism. Practice self-compassion. Take action.
I like number 2 and 3. Set
realistic goals.
Yeah, that's good advice. And the other one was after that?
Avoid perfectionism.
Yes.
I like the practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a friend. So do unto others as you would do to yourself. There you go, Keith. You would know where that came from.
Yeah, I think that's from the scriptures somewhere, isn't it?
That's right. Recognise and challenge negative thoughts. Become aware of self-defeating thoughts and make a conscious effort to replace them with the more positive and realistic ones.
Yes.
And aim for achievable goals and break them down to smaller and more manageable steps and take action. Stop making excuses and take constant action towards your goals, even when it's difficult.
That's very good, Lee. You should become a guru of some sort.
But this is the whole thing. So those, when I've just said them quickly, you go, yeah. It's really not going to happen unless you're so zeroed in and focused on it. But if you go to the other bits, which we've all come into play with, negative self-talk, procrastination, fear, unrealistic expectations, comparing yourself to others and self-sabotage. We can all relate to that because it's all happened to us. Yeah. We've lived through it and we may be doing it again. Don't be your worst enemy. People enjoy that. They enjoy living in the self-sabotage. They enjoy the unrealistic expectation. They love that.
Well, if you love it, you have a problem, really, but sometimes you do it subconsciously. I know that I've made a couple of really bad mistakes in my life because I didn't think highly enough of myself. I know exactly what they were, and they're very personal, so I'm not going to air them, but I've had to live with them. And what I've found is that it's made life quite hard in many ways, but at the same time, as I've looked around, there has been positives that I could find, that I have found in those situations where I would not have found them if I hadn't have taken that harder road, even though I really should not have taken that harder road. Now, it's a hard way to learn your lesson. It's a hard way to get somewhere in terms of personal growth, but maybe it could be a salvation because I could have taken an easier or better road that materialistically made it a lot more comfortable, and I could have missed out on some of the personal growth. You don't know. I don't know. But I definitely know that there are forks in the road and they probably weren't decisions that I should have taken.
This is from Psychology Today, and it says, what is self-sabotage? At its most basic, self-sabotage is a behavioural pattern that involves undermining our own goals or success, which we know. It involves a range of behaviours, including refusal to commit to goals, identifying goals that are so lofty we are sure to fail. And this is in inverted brackets. This sets up a feedback loop of negative emotion and low self-esteem. So they do it knowing that is going to happen. And not planning or problem solving appropriately, engaging in self-defeating actions that go against the goal we have set, not committing to a goal or withdrawing, shying away from any success that it may bring. So I like the withdrawing, shying away. So it's in the grasp, but they're not afraid of it, but they don't want to grasp. So what they're doing is that feedback loop of negative emotion. It's incredible.
Well, it's quite scary, really,
isn't it?
It is
very scary. We self-sabotage ourselves.
You know, we live in a society where we really have to have goals. If you don't have them, then life becomes overbearing. It comes in on you and makes you a victim. So if you don't have goals of some sort to keep yourself into a good frame of mind or a certain quality of life, which is hard, which is a real bitch, it'll come in and it'll smash you. So you have to have goals. Shying away from them is not good.
Some people's goals are getting up in the morning, getting dressed, having a shower, having something to eat, facing the day, going out, socialising. Going back to all the points before, we've all had them. We've all embraced them. And some of us have loved them because it protects us from ourselves, or we think it protects us from ourselves. But it's imprisoning us.
Yeah, good point.
That whole thing. And you've got to break free. Are you strong enough to do that?
Yeah, well, like I said, I think you have to. Otherwise, you'll become a victim.
Oh, there's another podcast right there, Keith. Really? But until that point, which I always say on the end of every episode, it's been a fantastic, incredible topic. And we could go on and on, and we have. But Keith, I'll leave you the last word.
Well, that's very generous of you, Lee. So this is our 94th episode.
94th.
Well, I'm going to be generous this morning. I'm going to give you the last word, my good man.
You've done this before, Mully.
Seldom.
So, thanks everybody for listening. Please subscribe. Check out our socials. We love to have any feedback at all, so please send emails to don'tgetmestarted2024@gmail.com. And as Keith says, we love you all, and I'm going to say it. Uru.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Don't Get Me Started with Keith and Lee. Don't forget to rate and review this podcast. To see more of Don't Get Me Started, jump onto our socials, follow us on Instagram at Lethal and Mully, Facebook and LinkedIn. If you would like to be a part of the show, email us on don'tgetmestarted2024@gmail.com. Until next time.